guys, welcome back to Me Watch a Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and another Patreon Take Immortality, it's yours subscriber has requested a movie, and we're gonna fucking review it. The Bat Queen, Nicole. You're super sweet and super nice, and I'm super psyched that you're a part of our fucking channel here, even though it smells weird here, and
it does smell like fucking Cheetos and
broken
weird
dreams.
Depression.
But I'm glad you're here.
Thanks, Nicole.
I'll get
Nikki.
some Febreze next time.
I like that name. Nicole. It's a sexual name, and it's probably part of a sexual lady.
Hey.
What? Ready, Kafka?
Hey.
So, guess what?
Whoa.
Red Eye, the sequel to Pink Eye. I should have never let that person fart in my face. Came out with Cillian Murphy, Rachel McAdams, and Brian Cox. Wait. Brian Cox.
Striker.
Before Striker. He was kind of thin before this happened, but then he got
looked kind of sick, actually.
I think what happened was, he got part of the Weapon X program, and then he got fatter because they give, better benefits. But anyway, Red Eye, it starts off pretty normal. I mean, a lady is working in a hotel, and she's going on vacation. She's like, fuck these customers for a few days. I'm going to go to Miami and visit my nice old dear dad, Brian Cox. And
it's like, I gotta go see my dad, Brian Cox.
Yeah, and so as she's boarding the plane, Cynthia, which is the new girl they just hired at the hotel in Miami, is having all these problems and troubles. She's pretty cute. And so she's on the phone with Rachel McAdams. Lisa is her name in this movie. Asking her what she should do. Anyhow, long story short, she does eventually make it to the airport. She's getting on her fucking flight. The Red Eye, Pink Eye sequel.
That's where they got the name.
Yeah.
That's why they call it Red Eye.
I know, it's weird, right?
Holy shit.
I've never known Delta to be so smart.
It's a Wes Craven film, by the way, and I love Wes Craven. If you look back at his filmography, the great man that he was, he has some strange movies in there. There's like one about like a music school, and it's like a happy family film, like a weird thing.
Do they have scholarships? Okay.
Cheese biscuits.
Cheese biscuits.
I was talking to my wife the other day, and she was talking about, she said something about cream cheese, and when she said it, I went, cream cheese. And she told me, she's like, every single time for the past 10 years that I've said cream cheese, or anyone said cream cheese around you, you've responded the exact same way, and I had no idea.
Yeah, I know.
I don't do it on purpose. I just go, I hear someone say cream cheese, and I go, cream cheese, cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
But yeah, no, he's got a weird filmography, and this is one of those ones that's in there. It's not a total horror movie, but it's a horror mystery thriller type.
Kind of like not Seven, not that far,
and
but it definitely has.
It's in the 2000s, but it feels like late 90s. Like, it's really kind of out of date almost, and the way people dress and act, and like when they're conversating with each other in the bar,
conversing,
and the way her sea breeze looked when she gets her drink.
Sea breeze.
It felt very 90s. But I liked it. Because in the 90s, they had these movies that would come out, right? Like, you would get movies like this, or Nick of Time, Johnny Depp. Dope-ass fucking movie, by the way. You get movies like this and that, like thriller movies that would come out, and they wouldn't be tied to a franchise or a book or anything like that. There wouldn't be a remake. They would just be neat little interesting stories, and you would get these little movies, and this felt like that.
I didn't want to go as far as Seven, because it didn't feel Seven at all. No. But it did feel like
Panic Room.
Like a Nick of Time. Or Panic Room, or any of those, like, thriller-esque type films, and that's exactly what it's listed at, and it does a good job of building that suspense as the movie goes. But once she gets to the airport, she runs into sexual Cillian Murphy, Mr. Scarecrow himself, and he's just a normal dude, like, in line waiting, and they kind of bump, into each other, and they have a conversation, and he's like, why don't you come and have a drink with me? He's a very smooth operator. Yeah. He knows how to fucking do it.
Well, the fucking asshole doctor's there, like, just giving it to the lady. He's like, do you understand? Go get your fucking manager. And they're all like, whoa, hey, buddy. Stop.
Calm down.
He's about to go fucking Michael Douglas falling down on this entire airport, and this was, pre-craziness, but they calm him down, and Cillian Murphy gives him the eyes. Like, he gives him the Scarecrow's eyes. It's like, he looks deeply into him, and Wes Craven was kind of obsessed with his eyes because he would zoom in on his face. And Cillian Murphy's got a scary fucking face.
No, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got lost in his eyes a bit. He grabbed that motherfucker like your mom dragging you out of the grocery store after you threw a tantrum. He was like, calm the fuck down. But he just said it like a normal way. He's like, calm down. You don't want to get crazy, do you? Because just, hey, let me in your house. You know what's going to happen anyway. Just let me in your fucking house. Like he does. Like, it's like, you can see the seething.
Rips off his shirt, Nicole forever.
You can see the seething anger and the weirdness behind him. You don't want to fuck with that shit. That's why I was like, well, I hate this airline. Like, and he just walks away. Let me in the fucking house. But anyhow, so
that's good.
So they do eventually. He invites her to have drinks, and she's like, I don't really want to. He's like, fine. You know what? I'm not gonna force it down that fucking throat. I know. He's like, that's cool. I mean, I'm just gonna go have some nachos, like Tex-Mex. They make the really good Tex-Mex, and I'm gonna have me a drink. But you want to be you?
I'm gonna go get my nachos. Don't you worry about how.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine.
You can do your thing, and I'm gonna go do my thing, which is way better than your thing, but I'm not gonna say that out loud. Very passive-aggressive sexualness that he was doing with her, and it was working. Good for him. And eventually she sees him sitting by himself all lonesome after she gets latte spilled on her, that stupid bitch.
But here's the thing about that scene, though. Like, when everything plays out later on, what would happen if she didn't look over at the bar and just was like, oh, fuck that weird dude with the bowl cut. I'm getting on my plane. Movie's over.
I guess at that point, Cillian Murphy would have had to go straight crane and do, jump her in the bathroom and be like, do you want to see my mask? From Batman Begins, go crazy.
His name's Jackson Ripner. Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. Really cool, clever.
Here's a nice piece of shit.
They never caught the motherfucker. Not real Jack the Ripper. But anyway, Jackson Ripner. It sounds like somebody. It just sounds terrible. Yeah. It just sounds like a made-up name that some edgy kid would put on Xbox Live. That's my gamer tag, Jackson Ripner. Anyway, they do have drinks and they have a lot in common. And she's like, "Yeah, there's the spark." But eventually they have to part ways. I felt I'm watching an Angelina Jolie meets Brad Pitt moment. It's very romantic shit in that moment in the airport. It kind of felt
serendipity.
Yeah,
John Cusack.
Look. Sometimes time runs out, but only when it runs out for the two people that love each other the most, and they find each other in that one moment. In that one moment, life is expanded forever. Anyway,
Actually, I disagree wholeheartedly. Once he gets fucking creepy.
No, I'm talking about
No. I'm saying once he gets creepy, I can feel vibes between them. I know this is weird. This is gonna be fucked up.
Oh, you know what? That's weird because you could say it was the precursor. No, it was the beta version of 50 Shades of Grey. You little fucking minxes! I knew it
because he does have money. But no, when they're sitting in the bar talking to each other, I was sitting there going like, you watch movies sometimes and you just go, I wonder if those two banged in real life.
Yeah.
There was no question in this one that these two did not bang. No, there was none. I thought she looked scared of him to me. When she was talking to him, she would never look him in the eye. When they were supposed to be having that romantic spark, I felt like Rachel McAdams as a human being was uncomfortable.
I don't know. The thing about that, I didn't think he got creepy in the bar. I thought
not intentionally. They didn't want him to seem creepy.
Well, I don't think he was creepy. I thought that just looked like one of those weird romantic kind of comedies or something. It was
supposed to.
Yeah, well, to me it did.
But he's like, let me guess what drink you're having.
Look, Cillian Murphy can't help the fact that he looks like an extra from the Verve Pipe lead singer. Like, he does look like that fucking better sweat, somebody. But he does look like that. Or he looks like the people no, I swear to God, he does look like the lead singer of Oasis. Wonderwall. Like, he looks like he could sing that. Look at his picture right there.
I could see him, the dude from Oasis, also wearing an overly large suit, but I don't see the face.
But anyhow, so they eventually get on the plane, and what she finds out is like, hey, this really interesting, cool guy that I got to talk to at the bar is going to be on the plane in the exact same fucking seat that I was going to be in. And oh my God, thank you, Mother Cleo, for answering my prayers, because she called her last night. And anyhow, eventually when the plane takes off and everything goes whatever, this is where Cillian Murphy goes full-on creep mode. Like, he reveals things about himself, because she's like, what do you do? He's like, I overthrow governments and fucking assassinate people. Bitch. Challenge me.
He goes from fucking zero to pervert real fast. I don't know if pervert's the correct word, but zero to bad guy really fast. Yeah. They're just sitting there he's like, I can't believe we're on the next flight. And this girl comes over, she's like, could you help me put in my fucking luggage? And he's like,
I'll be right back.
Fucking Gus, God damn it. Well, actually happened to me the other day at Kroger. I was just walking around and this older lady was like, can you please reach me the Sprite? And I was like, delicious choice. Yes, I will.
I think it would be better though to do something to get more of a reaction when they ask you to help them reach above the shelf they can't reach, to look at them and say, I forgot the part where that was my problem. Then walk off.
You stand up and spit on their shoes.
And then you would walk around the other lane, but you come right back like, I'm so sorry, I'll get it. I'm just playing.
Yeah, but then she'll kill your uncle in the parking lot.
Sure, better not.
I've seen it 100 times.
He does go it's 0 to 100 immediately after that. And the movie's not that long. It's like an hour and 29 minutes. So they had to, kind of step on the gas early on. But the way that he reveals what he actually is and what he's doing there and why it's all been arranged.
It's good, man.
It's really cool the way they thought that out. Now, I don't know if I want to give you guys necessarily a spoiler.
Let's go all spoilers. All in and outside, in and around, and grab it from behind.
You want to go straight bukkake?
Blah!
We're going to go straight bukkake films.
Blah!
No, well, okay.
All of it.
So he never says exactly what organization that he works for, but basically what he is, he's like a middleman contractor for hitman organization. Like he does, like he said, he overthrows governments and he fucking assassinates people.
But he's a bad shot.
And he's used this girl, the manager of this hotel where this one dude's coming to stay, Charles Keefe. His family's coming to stay. They're political, working for the NSA or some shit like that, or the Department of Defense.
Ice Skating Association of America.
I mean, you got to get rid of those motherfuckers. They just think they can take their blades anywhere. No, fuck you. You can't.
That's why I don't go bungee jumping in Mexico. They just don't have the regulations.
You got to be careful with where you go. Talk to your travel agent. but the thing is, so that's what he's doing, and you're right. When he reveals that's that little piece.
It's badass.
It's very conversational. It's flowing. It's not like the music doesn't all of a sudden cut in. And it's like and he's like, I gotta tell you something, and then he's like. Yeah, I love whittling wood to kind of relieve my stress. And by the way, I skinned a fucking cat one time and I wore it for a sweater. And then she's like, huh?
What are you gonna have, honey? I'll have the veal, I think. What are you gonna have? I've been sleeping with your father.
Oh, is that all? I slept with your mother.
It's very matter of fact. He's just all of a sudden like, by the way, I'm a part of association that was next to murder.
To McAdams' credit, she does play this part really well. As victim turned heroine later on.
She has a good backstory.
She does. She's got this scar that she's always been watching and looking at in the mirror and stuff. This scar on her booby cheek, near her booby cheeks, and it does have a pretty interesting tale behind it. And this guy, Cillian Murphy, is an expert on psychological, mind games and warfare. Like, he knows exactly what to fucking say because he's been watching it for a while. And he says, we've got your dad being watched right now. You're the manager of this hotel where the Keefs are going, and you're gonna call them, change the room that they're gonna stay at, and have them move to this room so they can be fucking assassinated. And that's what you're gonna do. And if you don't do that, my man that's listening to smooth, easy jazz is gonna take his K-bar and ram it right up your dad's butthole. And that's what's going to happen unless you do what I tell you to do. Now, McAdams is like shocked and appalled by this, and she tries to get up. He's like, I'm serious. I'm fucking dead serious. Bitch, I've got it on lock. And then once she believes him, this is where I kind of don't like McAdams that much. Because McAdams way too carelessly and cavalier plays with her father's life multiple fucking times. Brian Cox can't be played with in this way. Because she keeps on trying to warn the other passengers on the plane about him, or trying to do little subtle things. I'm like, bitch, your dad will die. All you gotta do is change the room.
Yeah, but she knows that dude's gonna die, and she likes that dude.
I don't care. It's my dad.
Well, it's like that black box movie though. Like, if someone gave you press the fuck out of that button.
In a minute,
the motherfucker. What was me, you piece of shit?
No, he said in that movie.
He said it could be anyone.
No, he didn't. He said it would not be anybody close to you. He said that.
Well, that's still pretty shit.
I don't care.
You press the fuck out of that button.
He wouldn't even have to open the box.
Baby.
He wouldn't even. He could have the box like this. I would just smash it down. He would be like,
that's the question.
I'd smash it down.
No, but
that's a staple easy button.
She didn't want to like basically sign that guy's death warrant, and not only that, but even if you want to go selfish here, like with being Rachel McAdams' character in this moment. Ooh. Not only that, but obviously, when all the fucking dust settles after this assassination has taken place, they're going to trace it back and figure out
why. Assassination. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Stand that good speed.
I promised I wouldn't die on this rock.
Womack, you son of a bitch.
Sniper's going to get his ass.
But it's a grunge thing. Fucking stop.
You gotta stop. It's time to stop now, Mac. Is it time to stop now? I believe that with my shit tons power and turns the sharp rainbow. If you was in that too.
If you want to go, if you want to go really like selfish about it, even if she does do it and she's like, oh, my dad's gonna be okay. I called and this guy's gonna die, but I don't know him that well. Fuck him. He's dead.
Yeah.
She's still gonna have to answer questions because they're gonna trace it back to her and why she made the phone call. And even if she's not like prosecuted, because who could blame her for being in that position, she's still gonna get like fucking dirty-eyed by people like, well, it's your fucking fault that my dad's dead, or
I don't know. I think it'd be okay. I think that ultimately I would just hire the guy from OJ. Say, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. First, I don't think she'd get it. I don't think that she would actually get convicted on it.
No, because they would understand what she was doing.
She might look like a piece of shit. Yeah, but again, most people would say, "I get it." Like if it was your wife or your girlfriend or something that being threatened.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, here's the balance area. So yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't know you. I mean, you might be a bad fucking politician.
She knows him a little bit.
She said he was a decent man, but how much do you really know him? I mean, you know him when he comes into the hotel and he seems like a cool guy that you met on the intranet, but he's still fucking...
He could be Anthony Weiner and it all about town.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck knows what he does? But anyhow, despite that, she's doing everything she can to prevent this from happening. And really what sets her off is the fact that, I think that she was okay with him dying.
Yeah.
Because I think that she had convinced herself trading Charles Keefe's life for her father, Brian Cox. was okay. It was an okay thing to do. But when Cillian Murphy kind of slips out and says, with the Keefs out of the way, says it plural. She's like, you're gonna wipe out his whole family, like his wife and his kids and him. Yeah. He's like, I mean, that's what you got. He goes, I'm just the middleman. I don't know what they want.
So she makes multiple attempts to escape or alert people via the Dr. Phil book. Because there's this old lady with the Dr. Phil book, and they mention it multiple times. Like, he literally mentions and reads passages from Dr. Phil's fucking book in this. And
but the thing about not Dr. Phil, but the old lady, she was annoying as fuck. And I mean, I didn't like her just always. If I'd been Cillian Murphy, I would have snapped that bitch's neck, not even like wanting to do it like before the job. I'm like, fuck a bitch. I feel like Bullseye. When Bullseye in the Daredevil movie, and he was like, that one was like, and I'll tell you about my second cousin Jim, and he had that peanut, he was like, you know what I'm talking about in Daredevil? Yeah. He's like, I never miss. But anyhow, anyway, she was
no. Who I fucking killed? Like, that's just a sweet old lady who likes Dr. Phil.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's got on my fucking nerves.
I smell like fucking formaldehyde juice.
Old lady murder.
Formaldehyde juice.
Was the fucking dude eating the oodles and noodles? Like, because the camera, Wes Craven does a great job with the film work in this. He shows like all the annoying people.
Who's the oodles and noodles?
I'm getting to it, bitch.
I'm waiting.
When she's starting to sit down, before she sits down next to Cillian Murphy, they did the Forrest Gump shot where it was like, can't fit here.
Oh yeah.
And like they're going through everybody, and they get to this one dude who's just fucking, and it's everybody being annoying. Like one guy was like breathing on someone's face, and a fat guy was like, oh.
I just came to the new magazine of manga.
Sit next to Daddy. I'm on leave. But there's the one dude who's got these fucking noodles. He's going, oh. He's stuffing the fucking noodles in his mouth.
He likes his noodles, man. You can't kill him for
Who bought the fucking noodles?
By the way, I also want to mention really quick how quickly, like a fucking serpent, Cillian Murphy is, because when she does a shitty thing, he fucking but dude, it was lightning fucking Raiden fast. Like she was on the phone. And she does it, but it loses service, and she thinks she's being all slick, and she's like, oh yes, and then he sees, like, he looks around, sees everybody else got disconnected, and he goes, and she's like, oh, and he goes, and then, like, he lays the pillow on her, and she's like, she's doing much better now. I was like, God, you're a serpent.
You know what it was? It was Commando. Like,
that was good stuff.
It was very Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that scene, but he's like, my friend is very tired. Could you get him to, why am I talking Schwarzenegger like that? But no, dude, he was like,
he did.
Put her to sleep for fucking quick.
Shut up! But, yeah, he did. It was like immediate. It was like a special power that you only get in a fighting game. Like it was so quick. It was like a fucking rattlesnake.
Hagar from fucking.
Dude, it scared me though because it made me jump because I wasn't. And he was like looking at her, and then he's just like, and you're like, oh fuck! I was like, you just knocked that whore out.
Not Fight Night, but what's the game where the two brothers, not Double Dragon, but where the two brothers go into the streets?
That's
the big dude, the little dude.
Final Fight.
Yeah, Final Fight.
It's like, Haggard Cody. You guys remember that for the Super Nintendo? He's like, anyhow, but yeah, so he knocks the shit out of her, like, after she tries to play all cutesy with him. Anyhow, there's a lot of those intense moments going on in the plane between those two sitting side by side, and she's scared. Then she goes to the bathroom and tries to make the soap thing on the mirror, and he catches her doing that.
The guy in 2B.
But you know, and there's also a little quick insight into McAdams' backstory with her little scar. Yeah. And there was one moment that I was like, man, there's a small window for Murphy to come back as a good guy, Jackson, because he's like, did somebody do that to you? And he looked at her scar. Yeah. I was like, because he was like. I'll be worse than that.
I wanted to talk about this too, like the psychology of his character, because it shows in that moment. Like, I think he's fucking in love with her.
I think so too. I think that there was definitely, because he said he's been watching for like 3 months.
Yeah, he's like, why do you eat eggs alone at 3 a.m.?
He didn't sound like Batman. Like, I had a diarrhea.
That was if he'd had been casted as Batman.
He's like, why do you eat scrambled eggs and not mozzarella sticks? He's like, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty lonely. It's no big deal. But no, that's what he tells her. He's like, what, your kids don't like falafel? But he tells her, he's like, I've been watching you for a long time. And he's like, I know that you eat eggs alone at 3 a.m. And
it's 3 a.m. and I'm alone.
He's like, and what's wrong with you and all this shit? And then he gets all rapey when he smashes her up against the wall. And he sees the cut, and he's like, who did this to you?
Well, see, I thought like that was the one moment though. That's where I think the small little moment was that he could have been. If they wanted to twist the fucking thing on his head where he was like doubting himself, like because she's like, you don't have to do this. Maybe he's like, but then again, I know what he's saying.
She realized that he was in love with her when he said that because the way he was looking at her with those steely blues. And that's why she was like, you don't have to do this.
But then again, I was like, I don't want you. I was like, just go all the way, man. Because at this point, you've definitely lost your chance to take her out to Cheddar's. Or to fucking take her to Checkers or anything. It's not your.
Get her a seat,
even if you come back.
That's what he said too. He's like, seriously, why do you fucking lie to me? And he grabs her by the throat. He's like, because I know you fucking drink sea breezes.
Yeah, what did she get? She got like winter breezes. Like, you're fucking lying. After all that, and then the head stewardess catches him after he's told her, I'll kill you, bitch. You're playing Russian roulette with your father's life. They come out there and she's like, this ain't no motel. And he's like, and he walks off. He gives that like.
He did play that off. Yeah, he goes, sure.
And then
they said sure, and he winks at her.
They go back and sit down.
It's
and
like,
by the way,
came in the sink.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not. That that's fucking great.
NBD came in the sink.
The dude that played in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake and the Flash in Smallville was one of the kids that the most useless characters ever.
Another one of the kids, weird West Wild World of Wally West Vagina whiskey bar.
Whiskey.
Whipped cream. The kid with the eyebrows. It was like, she stole your pin, bro. That was the kid from the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dude, I just said that.
Remake.
I just said that. I said Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and he was from Smallville.
Wes Craven directed this.
Mike, I know. I literally just said that. Where was your brain? Where was your chance?
I bet he didn't even know.
You blinked out for 5 minutes, dude. I swear to God. Yeah, he was also the Flash.
I know, I thought of it first.
No, I said it before you said it.
It's crazy.
He was the Flash. It's crazy that you're wrong. The Flash from Smallville. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he was in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
I know, Mike, literally. Watch the video again. But the weird thing about that is, though, they were the most useless characters. So they didn't, they were just there for her to get the pin from. But that part is when it gets gnarly as shit. Because she did steal that kid's pin that was drawing like monsters and how he was going to kill his parents because they didn't get the new iPhone S7.
So, that was a badass scene.
But she's in there and she was like, you know what I learned about, in that because she tells him the story about her scar, I'll never be a victim again. And then she stabs that motherfucker right in the throat.
It was perfect timing.
She throat stabbed him. And it was like, and just the way he sounded, you're like, God, that's gotta fucking hurt.
Yeah, and there's a perfect recourse for her whole character, like the whole thing. Like, everyone's characters in this. The movie's so short, it's like fucking rapid fast. It's like watching a TV show. I mean, it goes by so fast because it's so entertaining. It's so simple and fun. But her character has a perfect arc right there. Like, she's been like sexually assaulted before, and the dude cut her, and she's like, I promised myself that I would never let that happen again. So out of fucking nowhere, she becomes like badass final girl.
Cillian Murphy's like, which chapter was that in Dr. Phil? I missed it. It's like, how to handle one of those.
But she becomes even though it's not a full-on horror movie, she becomes a badass final girl and just grows gigantic
metaphorical balls,
and stabs and hits him in the throat with that pin. And it was funny because I thought, okay, he's dead, right?
Yeah, well,
but apparently it's just a windpipe issue.
The asshole doctor is like, oh yeah, that's just
Yeah, just stick.
That's just the wind. He's like, wait, and he was like, fuck it.
Stick your thumb in it. It'll
and
be
then
fine.
the only
lasted for like another 2 hours.
Yeah, the only good news is that after she escapes the plane, because it landed before she stabbed him in the throat with the pin, and she's going to go warn her father and the hotel to not make that change to the room of the Keefs, because they've already been changed at this point. And by the way, the guys at the very beginning of the movie, the fishermen that they look, the Secret Service men are seeing, they're going to launch a torpedo at that
genius fucking plan.
That was amazing. That was a great idea. But how did they know it was going to be in that exact spot?
I think they probably had it like.
Did it float there?
A tracer on it, maybe.
Did it just float there?
I don't know, but that's what happens. Like, they go because the Coast Guard.
Oh, I know what it was. They went out early on, I guess, into the middle of the ocean. They dropped it in the area.
I think it was just a tracer. It was a radar tracer.
No, but I'm saying like.
Yeah, they went there and dropped it before.
Yeah, so they could find it.
Yeah, but no, the Secret Service is checking on things, and there's a boat out there facing this dude's hotel room, which is all glass perfectly. And Hitman, Timothy Olyphant's inside of it. But no, that's what you assume it's going to be a spy. But they send the Coast Guard out there to check him out. And they're like, it's all clear. And then the next thing you know, this dude fucking puts a fishing reel down and pulls up a goddamn missile box.
I know.
And they
just what I always wanted.
They shoot a fucking missile. And it's weird because you're in the middle of this low-budget movie on a plane. And then all of a sudden there's a gigantic missile. And it's like True Lies. You know? You're fired. The fucking thing blows up.
But yeah, but in the meantime, before that all goes down, before they launch the missile, she's on the phone because she escapes Cillian Murphy. And there's a cool little airport sequence chase that he goes after and stuff. She's running all of it. She gets on the subway or whatever. That's pretty, well, not the subway. I don't know what the fuck they call that. A monorail, I guess? I don't know. I saw it one time at Epcot Center in Disney. I don't know what they are. We live in a small town, guys. I know you guys probably make fun of us for that, but I don't know what a fucking monorail is because I've only been to an airport twice in my fucking life.
It's a man moat.
And I've only been on a train.
I've never been on a train.
0 times. Yeah. Never in my life. Who done it? What's that movie that just came out?
I'm probably the greatest detective that's ever. Like, bitch, what you mean probably? Have some confidence in yourself.
I was like, why would you say probably?
I'm not watching this fucking movie.
There's a cool little chase sequence there, and she gets on a monorail, and she goes, and in the meantime, she steals a fucking Jeep.
Yeah.
She steals a Grand Cherokee.
She looks like Ben Affleck in the beginning of Batman vs. Superman.
Some 41. And she's on the phone, and she tells Cynthia, she's like, don't let him be that. She's like, don't chase the roofs. She's like, somebody's trying to cut up. And then she's like, oh my god, fuck, what if they don't have enough olives? And so eventually she gets him out of the room right before the missile goes up their butthole. And there's a cool explosion scene. The missile looked great. That whole sequence was badass. That was a really intense moment. That entire 20 minutes from the chase scene in the airport to that, it doesn't feel, it's not really a long scene, but it feels really good, and it feels like they amp it up, and it really gets going, and you're like, yes!
It's just a weird, nice tone this movie has, because you're stuck in a tube on an airplane for so long, and then all of a sudden you get out, and there's fucking missiles and car chases.
I thought that was cool, and then
I dug it.
Eventually,
she murders like it's nobody's fucking business.
I know. Well,
but she takes that Jeep and just fucking that.
She makes her way to her dad's house because she can't get home because the battery's dying, and Brian Cox is like recovering from a bad sexual experience. No, actually, he's just sleeping.
You're young. It'll happen.
He doesn't do anything though. He's just there. Like, you know, they probably paid him like.
I'm pretty sure most people's dads would be that.
No, but I mean, they played.
I was making a jelly sandwich.
They played him like he was going to have more of an important role in the movie, but he didn't do anything.
Because he's Brian Cox.
And they even gave him the last name. His name's Joe Reiser. But anyhow,
she kills the dude with the SUV.
She's the guy that was waiting outside the house.
Yeah, she hits him like it's a fucking video game. She just boop. Kills him with the Jeep, and then gets out and looks at him like, fuck yeah. I think she was having fun kicking ass because of what she's been through. So now she stabbed a dude in the throat with a fucking, like a, you know, stabbed a dude in the windpipe, ran over a dude, and then she, you know how like someone in the NBA will dunk on someone and then look at them when they walk by?
Like,
that's what she did to the dude she killed.
You know you ain't
like,
my level, dog. You ain't my level, dog.
And then Cillian Murphy shows up there, because dude, he's like the fucking Terminator at this point. Like, he gets his ass kicked a lot. Like, he's not very good. And he even mentions, he's like, I'm a lousy shot, that's why I do this, what I do.
I liked how he was running through the airport there, because he did look like T-1000. He was like, he's like, nice bike. he was
like T-1000 in a silk scarf.
Yeah.
Like, my dude was like running around like...
But you know, this is where, like, when he's stalking through the house with the K-bar, you know, with the knife, because he knocks her dad out, and then she escapes, and she's like running through that. This is where I think Wes Craven maybe, I mean, I know he's probably not, but it did feel like very Halloweenish. The guy stalking her.
The music felt screamish to me. Like,
the way he was stalking her through the house, and this guy was with a knife, and he disappears behind doors and shit. I thought that was amazingly done, and maybe a nod to the other horror movies, because it was super intense.
And you know who would have been a great Ghostface in a weird spinoff?
Matthew Lillard.
Motherfucking Cillian Murphy, dude.
It would have been great, yeah.
I mean, he, as a person, he's obvious, like, oh, that guy's fucking Ghostface. But to imagine him behind the gown... That makes fucking sense.
I don't think they'll ever do that because he's too big of a star, but
it'd be cool.
Either way, it was a cool little scene, and I think it was one of a nod to like a Halloween or a Scream series. But eventually, McAdams does fuck him up.
She sticks a heel in his fucking leg.
And you know what?
That shit was
but again, he was like,
yeah, dude.
JC Penny, bitch.
He wasn't very good at like fighting or anything like that.
It's Cillian Murphy.
Dude was tough. Like, he had a hole in his fucking. He was running around the whole time going.
Yeah,
how scary can you be? Like,
I know. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, and then he would touch and say, "One more loose end to cover up."
Like, speaking of screaming, he's like, "I'll cut you like a fish.
I want to see what the insides look like." But anyhow, eventually, who rescues McAdams is Brian Cox with his fucking silencer gun. Yeah. Like, he shoots it
again.
But did he die? Did Cillian Murphy die? Probably not.
Oh, yeah, he got shot in the heart.
No, I think
it
was above the heart.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't have a heart. The Grinch had only two sides. It's too small.
But that another nice character tie-in. Like, she gets her redemptive arc. She's a badass. She fucks Cillian Murphy up. He clearly becomes the dude who just wants to fuck her, because like when he knocks her down the steps or whatever, he's kind of looking at her, walking towards her.
I don't think he wanted to fuck her.
I saw a twinkle in his eye.
No,
he wanted to fuck her.
I think he wanted to kill her and get out of there
because he had a weird like stalkerish thing about him.
He understood that Lee's famous recipe chicken restaurant had a special going on.
It's a big deal.
Kill her, get done with it.
That was a very deep underlying theme, I think, is that he kind of was in love with her. But Brian Cox, on the other hand, he gets a character arc too, because all he wants to do, he's divorced, he has nothing to do, he's retired, he just wants to protect his daughter, and she's so successful and beyond him she can't, but he eventually in the end saves the day and saves her from a killer.
I wonder how much Dr. Phil got attention from this, because they mentioned his book and like his name multiple times, even the fucking psychology part of him.
Hopefully not. He's a gigantic sack of
shit.
He's
a big old nutsack. They get to the hotel, the Keiths thank her, and then she's an asshole to the assholes that were asshole to Cynthia.
Shove it up your ass.
Yeah, so overall, I'm going to give the movie about 7.5 to an 8. I give it an 8. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. I had a good time with it. I had a really good time with it, actually. And for an hour and 29 minutes, it didn't, waste your time. It didn't, drag out unnecessarily. It didn't add a lot of bullshit. Yeah. Extra fat on the steak. Look, I just want my shit medium well done, and fuck you. I just want to eat a good steak. Where's the lamb sauce?
Better get that shit medium rare, man.
Yeah, so that...
fuck's your problem?
I don't know. What the fuck's your problem? You ever eat lamb?
You get anything over medium rare, and you're just a steak hater.
No, I'm not.
What do you get your steak cooked?
I know you love meat, but let's just be honest with you. That was like fucking. You like? I do. But anyhow, look.
Steak.
It's a good movie. It's not too overdone. Like they're not trying to throw a bunch of bullshit at your face and trying to make it way political or way super stupid. Like Sum 41. Even though that's a guilty pleasure of mine, I did kind of enjoy Sum 41 with Ben Affleck and I think it's Morgan Freeman.
Dude, that's a band. That's a band.
No, not Sum 41.
I thought you mentioned that earlier, and I just let it go.
No, there's
because I thought you knew what the fuck you were talking about.
No, there's another one called. What the fuck is that?
The Sum of All Fears.
Damn, that's what it is.
Ben Affleck. And
I thought they spelled it with S-U-M. That's why it was confusing in my brain.
No. Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman were in. Yeah, that was Sum of
All Fears. That's
but Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson were in Changing Lanes.
Sum 40. Fuck! I just think that Sum of All Fears, Sum 41 should have been the band that played it. They should have had the. That's what I meant. Oh, guys, okay.
Man, don't give a shit about nothing.
That would have been a good idea. That would have been a great, different tone setter.
Without sweating all the.
Anyhow, even though that's a guilty pleasure of mine, this one didn't have those, but it was still cool, and I'm glad they made it. And Wes Craven's a master storyteller, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. I thought Blink-182 was a good movie too, and then
What about the revival?
I give the movie an 8 as well. I love this movie.
You like the Osbournes?
Underratedly, it's one of the cleanest fucking movies of all time. Because it's short as fuck, it's to the point, it does what it does, it gets in, gets out, it gets the fuck away. It doesn't leave anything behind.
I don't want to talk anymore, I feel stupid.
I feel like...
I said it twice, because I was so fucking... I knew what I was talking about, but I said Sum 41. I don't know why. I don't know. Do you ever have a brain fart that just lasts?
It's funny, like I said, you mentioned it earlier, and I was just, part of it was like, no.
Dude, I had a brain fart that warped my fucking brain so hard that it's still, the anal cavity is still crunched up. I can't release it. I'm so fucking sorry.
You were in too deep. You could say that you were in too deep.
Fuck you.
Maybe you had a motivation problem.
Well, you know what? I fucked Avril Lavigne.
Watch how you talk to me. I'll give you a fat lip.
Continue.
Okay.
Woo!
Thank you, Bat Queen Nicole, for requesting this. This is awesome that you did, because it's one of those movies that it fits with the channel because it's sort of horror-ish, but it's also a movie we probably never would have fucking got to. And if you guys want to request a review, it's in the $25 area of the Patreon. Of course, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. It gets goddamn wham up in you.
Bye.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.